Hello and welcome to this very special edition of Eagle's Eye. I'm your host, Stephen Struckman, and today I'm joined by fellow JDM senior Ethan Jenkins. Ethan, how are you?
I'm doing great. It feels good to be over here in this chair for once.
So, to begin with, you've been a cornerstone for all three media here at JDM. Can you describe some of your best memories with the Collegian, WRDL, and here at AUTV?
I mean, some of my best memories just include being involved. I remember going back as a freshman, immediately jumping into TV and radio, but I strayed away from the newspaper at the beginning of my career. So really that first year, I was just getting my feet wet. Then sophomore year, I jumped into all three, stayed with all three all the way up until right now. So some of my best memories around here just include being around, just the camaraderie between all of us and being involved around here with all the people that make the place, if you will.
That's certainly you as well, who definitely make this place what it is. Along a similar vein, throughout your time here, you've been in leadership positions at all three media here at JDM. Describe your roles at all three, the Collegian, WRDL, and AUTV, and what your experience was with them.
Well, so starting off with the Collegian my sophomore year, in kind of a short notice, I jumped in being the co-sports editor after just a week before school started in August that year that the sports director had left. So I jumped in for that, was a sports director that year, and continued to be a sports reporter my other 2 years. So just a brief stint as an editor for the Collegian. Then for AUTV, my sophomore year, I was the news producer along with my junior year, and then I became general manager and news producer at the same time. A lot of the responsibilities for that included producing the election show, being involved with Good Afternoon Ashland, a lot of our bigger programs here. I had a great time producing the election show, specifically this past year where we went up from just the 2 hours we were doing to 3.5 hours. So I really enjoyed that longer broadcast. And then finally for WRDL, I've been the sports director for 2 years, and I've really just enjoyed calling games, leading the scheduling for that, and kind of trying to be the main broadcaster that sets the example for the standard of quality around here.
You talk about standard of quality, and we have to talk about one of your crowning achievements here at JDM. In the spring of 2023, you called the Division II Women's Basketball Championship Final, where Ashland won that championship game. Describe what that meant to you, not just as a broadcaster, but as a sports fan in general who grows up listening to these calls.
Yeah, and I think the amount of people listening that day is why it was such a big game. That was easily the most listeners that we've ever had for a sporting contest, well over 1,000 for that one, and that's only on one metric that we could see. So I really think that all the work that we put in all season long, every rep after every rep, game after game, we were just working to get better and better. And then that day finally came when we knew there was a title on the line, but we wanted to have an equal impressive performance that the team had that day, putting on the best broadcast, making sure it was high quality, and it was in an NBA arena. So that was really just kind of the first big stage I've ever been on, and I really enjoyed calling that game, and I hope that everyone enjoyed my call of that game as well.
I think we all did. And continuing with you calling these games, not only did you call games for 88.9 WRDL, but also for Bally Sports Great Lakes and also Rock Entertainment Sports Network, where you worked with Dan Sevick and other big people inside the Cleveland kind of metro broadcasting area. I spoke with Dan, and he raved about your professionalism and smoothness on the microphone. Can you tell me about your experience calling these games and what it means to have a well-known director like Dan Sevick have that high of a praise for you?
Yeah, well, certainly his leadership, at the top of these broadcasts, it certainly leads you to perform better, and I think that is a great honor to have him say that about you, specifically when you go from being a sophomore and, your first couple times on air, you're a little bit shaky, and it might not be the best, but when you continue to do it time after time, get used to the show, and then you can really put quality broadcasting on top of that. I think that has, him saying that about me is really special to me, specifically because in Cleveland sports, he's right at the top of that.
Absolutely. And moving to your work now behind the camera, you mentioned a little bit earlier how you've been able to produce election shows and Good Afternoon Ashland and countless other productions. Can you tell us about some of your favorite memories producing?
Yeah, my favorite memories producing include kind of leading up to the shows, not exactly the shows themselves. It takes a lot of prep work between a lot of different people and leading all those people to making sure everything is in the right place. that was a challenging at times, but I think that it brought out the best in everybody and brought out the best in myself to make sure that the shows went as expected when we're live. If you don't do the preparation, you're not going to get the results that you want. So I think producing, it's a lot of work beforehand just so things can go right on the actual show itself. So producing has been a great experience for me, and I came in here only wanting to do sports, but then I kind of shifted to news and the election and GAA and all those different shows that we do. So I just enjoyed that transition and getting to try new things throughout my time here.
Absolutely. And lastly, how do you look to use these skills and knowledge that you've acquired here at JDM and put them into the professional world? And what kind of career do you think you want once you walk across that stage here in less than a week?
Well, I really just tried to do everything I could here at JDM, no matter what it was, from jumping into all three mediums to covering a variety of different topics with my work. So I think that I have made myself a well-rounded hire that can do a lot of different things that some people may only be able to do one thing. But if you expand your horizons, be able to use your skills and assets to do a number of different things, I think that can lead you to a better career down the road. And for what career that I picture myself doing, originally I wanted to be a sports broadcaster, traveling all across the country. But I think that with my family all around Cleveland and in the state of Ohio, I'd love to be in sports media or even news media, being a producer around in the state of Ohio, but specifically in the Cleveland area as well. So my goal has changed a little bit, but I think that my family has made this place a home, and I'd really like to just, growing up in this city, near Cleveland, I'd like to stay in Cleveland and be that kind of hometown feel that everyone likes to see.
Well, thank you so much for being on the show here, and thank you, of course, for being my friend for the past 4 years, and good luck to you wherever you may go.
Thank you very much.
That is it for this edition of Eagle's Eye. Be sure to follow us across all social media at AUTV Ashland. I'm Stephen Struckman. Thanks for watching.